Hello, today is November 2nd. Today we are breaking down an upcoming first Arctic blast of the season. And that is going to take place about Monday through Thursday of next week. And we have a couple other things to cover as well. And first off to cover is our tropics. We do not have any activity. Melissa is done, and hopefully we won't have to see anything else light up this season. But knowing the NHC, we're probably going to at least see a yellow shaded area, as we usually do, at least have one. But we have plenty of seasons where storms don't form in November, so we're hoping that nothing forms. Now, moving on, let's set the picture, okay? This is going to be what is going to drive potential cold diving into the east and keeping our heat over in the west. Here is what we're in right now. We have a system that is going to move offshore. That is our dip in a jet stream. But as we head into this week, we're actually going to have quite nice temperatures over much of the U.S. as we do have a ridge here, allowing for heat buildup and nice weather. That is this week. But as we head into middle of this week, we have a trough over here in the west that is going to enter the northeast. And this thing is going to combine with this Arctic one up here, and we're going to see a big dip in the jet stream. And this is going to allow all of the cool air from Canada to make its way down into the eastern portion of the U.S. And this actually goes quite far south. I think everyone in the east is going to feel this. And then we have a big ridge that is going to build up after this. But after that, it is too far out, and we really don't know what's going to happen. It does show like a trough, and then just a pattern after that. So we're going to have a big cool down, then maybe a ridge afterward. Now, if you don't believe me, here is what the GFS looks like over the next 2 weeks or so. So we have what's left over from our little cold front here. This is going to move offshore with some light rain. And we're going to have some slightly cooler air over here in the northeast as we head into Monday and Tuesday. And we're going to have a system potentially producing some light snow up there. Nothing very significant. It's not your first snow. Now, here's Wednesday. We are pretty much in a ridge here. We have all the heat building centered over here in the plains. And here's Wednesday. We have this huge atmospheric river plunging into California and the rest of the upper northwest here, and that is going to produce some snow in the higher elevations and a lot of rain. So coming up is going to be a lot of rain. We also are going to have some sort of clipper come through Minnesota, Michigan, and potentially dump some snow in the northeast. This is going to happen later this week, but we're not exactly sure where the snow rain may be. And in fact, there may not be snow at all, but I think there will be. Now, here's where things actually get interesting. As we have our ridge just kind of mostly stay built up over the next couple of days. And then we have a weather system that brings a huge band of snow over here in Canada and a lot of severe weather here. And this, we have some light severe weather potentially. And behind it, as you can see, this is like about the freezing line at night, I think, is what it lines up with. It brings it down quite far. But not only that, we have this weather system here. It brings some light snow and rain. And this thing brings it even farther to the south. Now, let me get this straight. This is the most extreme of the models. It does bring this blue band all the way down to Georgia. So, yeah. We're not exactly sure the details of this, but it is likely to bring some lake effect snow, probably heading to the southeast of wherever the lake is at first. But this model particular doesn't show a lot of the lake effect over on Erie at this point. But that thing is then forecast to move out, and we have another system that might come in behind it. Does not look like anything major. And then we have our ridge afterward that I was talking about. This should happen late week next week. Now, let's move on to the European. If you didn't believe me with the GFS, as that's all I've shown you yet, here is the second model. Again, our system not going to produce much snow here. We have a small system that's going to bring some slightly cooler air over here in the northeast as we head into Tuesday and Wednesday. And again, we have our big atmospheric river along the west coast. And here's our clipper. Again, not showing as much snow, showing a little snow. I'm kind of on a GFS side on this one, and that's not going to bring much either. What we're really going to watch then is for this system right here. It does bring it down a little bit more, but here's our second system that brings it in. It brings all the cool air, brings it about as far south as the GFS. This thing all the way down into Alabama, and this one actually shows a lot more lake effect snow. Again, mostly anchored southeast of the lakes, but it doesn't seem like this one's going to be super long lingering based on most of the models. It's going to be a couple days and then it's going to move out, allowing for heat again to build up with our ridge to get disrupted by a system at some point. Now, if you still don't believe me, here's 3 more models that show the same thing. This is our Canadian model. This is a model that isn't as accurate, but we do like to look at it sometimes. And again, it is showing a Arctic blast. And actually, this time it's showing a snowstorm in the northeast. I wouldn't trust this. I think that's a little extreme. I would expect a little bit more cool air to be mixed in with this. Not as much lake effect rain. I think this one does not do a very good job at that. But it brings it pretty far to the south. Even farther south than that European model. And again, as you can see, our ridge is going to build up in the west. Now, our icon model is showing the exact same thing. This is early next week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday-ish. And it again is showing something cool in the east and warm in the west. And we're going to see this produce some snow in some areas and some rain in others. We're not exactly sure where yet. And as you can see here, it does show the lake effect snow. And here's our last model. This is an AI model. Pretty good at predicting hurricanes. Not sure how well it does at cool air, though. This one does not show it nearly as far south. It does get it down into Tennessee at the max. But again, it is verifying, yet again, that we're going to have cool air come down in the east early next week. Like, literally every single model is showing this. Now, when it comes to temperature anomalies, we'll get into temperatures later this week, but temperature anomalies, we're going to keep our southeast cool over the next bit, and we're going to have our heat really build up over the next little bit. Northeast should be more temperature swingy. We're going to have a couple cold fronts come through over there. And then we should have this big cold front come through around Saturday, Sunday, and it's going to continue to push to the south Monday, Tuesday, and move to the east coast on Wednesday, and finally be mostly out of here by Thursday, and completely out by Friday. And again, we have a pretty large heat wave that is going to come across the U.S., allowing for some cool air actually in the west after that. Now, after that, we're not exactly sure. Now, here's another model with our temperature anomalies. This one does not allow for as much cool air. But again, we do have that slight cold front over here in the northeast. We're going to stay mostly warm elsewhere across the U.S. And our heat wave is going to allow to stay until we get into about... This one actually makes it a little later. More into Sunday, Monday. And it comes all at once instead of 2 waves like the GFS shows. And again, the whole East should be feeling this as we head into Tuesday should be our peak, Monday or Tuesday. And again, the West Coast, the East Coast, sorry, is going to feel it closer to Wednesday and maybe Thursday. But after that, again, we have a heat wave coming through after that. Now, our 6 to 10 day outlook. We have mostly above average outlook over here for temperatures, better chance of that. And we do have a smaller chance of below average temperatures over here in the east. But if we go to our 8 to 14 day temperature outlook, it does seem that that ridge is going to be mostly winning there, and this below average temperatures, again, going to be slightly over there in the 8 to 14 day outlook as well. And that is all I have to cover today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later this week covering more about this upcoming Arctic blast. Thank you so much.